All right, Bitcoin doing some special things over the past just even several hours. Weekly close happened yesterday. Look at this candle. We were about $300 away from closing a textbook Dragonfly Doji, but we had to have closed a little bit more green, right? We had to close higher than this candle. 22,432 is where we closed this one. So in order for us to print a textbook Dragonfly, uh, we would have to, been higher than that close. But we didn't quite do it. But still, a long tail doji you'll take. If you can't get a dragonfly doji, this is the second best thing. So when you see something like this, that indicates a lot of buyers coming in a massive way. And luckily for Bitcoin, it happened to be to the bullish side, recapturing the 20 SMA right here. That's also the median Bollinger Band, getting back above the 21 EMA in the yellow, the 14 EMA in the purple, and closing right on the EMA 8 in the red. And so if you put it on closing prices to eliminate all the wicks on the noise, look what we have here, right? We have a high, a higher high, a low, and a higher low. Quite impressive for Bitcoin. The bulls stepped in very bigly over the weekend and closed our strong weekly candle. So now we're seeing the results of that, and we're now pressing local highs. We're trying to close back above 25K. That'll be our key flip level. If Bitcoin can do that, we're looking at a close. Remember, the wicks can do anything. We're looking for a close above said, resistance zone here. That would also take out the 200-week EMA, currently just south of 25K. But we need to flip this zone as support. Now, whether that's this week, next week, or 3 months from now, who cares? This is going to be when Bitcoin can flip more macro bullish, and the bigger bulls will continue to thwart little baby bears, right? So that's what we're looking for Bitcoin. Now, could we get rejected here and come back down? Sure, no big issue. We just want to maintain this kind of structure of, higher highs, higher lows. We want to take out 25K and flip that 200 week before we take out this lower wick, right around 19.6. We got to do that to maintain the bullish momentum. But so far, all good. 24.3. And, we've actually been to 24/7 in the past hour or so. So we'll see based on when you watch this video, maybe But we need to see a weekly close this week. Would be fantastic, but we don't have to. It's not that important. But if we can close above 25K this week, or even that 200-week EMA, very big move for Bitcoin. We haven't been able to do that in the entire bear market since we closed below it way back in June of 2022. So all eyes on that. Now going to our indicators, we still have momentum to the upside on the weekly. The RSI gaining strength again after our brief fake out down. We looked at this on Friday and we were way down here, but we ended up closing back up and avoided catastrophe. So now we'd want to see a higher high on the RSI to continue our growing muscles for Bitcoin. That's what this is for, the relative strength and the rest of the market. That's what we're looking for Bitcoin. The MFI increasing as well. Where our biggest concern as of the last video was the ADX and the I looking like it was going to cross big time. And we bounced instead, and now we're diverging with the bulls maintaining momentum to the upside. Ideally, we would like to see the ADX kind of flip around here, this orange line, right? That's your directional index. At the same time, we want separation and divergence from the positive DI, which is green in the bulls, and the negative DI, which is, kind of the bears. So that's what we're looking for, ideally, for Bitcoin to continue onwards and upwards. So the Fisher transform, that was also looking bad. Trigger down, still a trigger down, but this would likely update, if we're at this price or higher come, Sunday night again, I would expect another cross and a very rare, weekly fake out. So we will see if this is just temporary and we're actually going to close back down much lower, or in 6 days, 6.5 days from now, or are we going to close here or higher and get a rare fake out down and then a move to higher highs out of the Fisher transform. So that's what we're looking at for the weekly. Now the daily gave us clues to maybe what was happening here, right? Go down to the daily chart and you could see, look at this candle right here on Friday, right? This is the candle that gave us the clues. Hammer candle. That is a bullish candle as long as it's at the bottom of a, extended downwards movement, which we had here. And not only that, that's not the key, right? The key is Where did it print? It printed outside the bottom of the lower Bollinger Band. A hammer candle after a downfall, and then printing outside and closing outside of the lower Bollinger Band. Very good odds to increase a kind of a trampoline effect, in which we're seeing now. So that's what we're seeing the effect of. Now, whether or not we can continue our momentum to space, or we need some, pause, and I think maybe we might need a little bit of a. This is a hell of a move, right, over the past couple days. So even if we do something like this, come back, like test the 200-day again, the 200-day EMA. Notice how we bounced back here. So maybe we do something like this, and then continue our momentum going over the next couple of weeks. I think maybe that's better odds, but Bitcoin likes to maintain its momentum. It can do whatever the hell it wants. It doesn't have to listen to me. But in order for us to flip more macro bullish on the bigger picture, right, we got to take out 25K. So that's what we're looking at over the next couple of days before we make another Bitcoin video. That's what I'd be watching for on the daily chart. So if you want to zoom in even more, the 4 hours looking massively bullish. Now look at the Bollinger Band's mouth opening. So this move can continue up for sure, as long as that lower band is pointing down. If you start to see it curl up here, right, then the power is losing, right? So the power is fading. It can still move up, but until that starts to close, higher prices are inevitable, right? So watch that. Watch for this, right, on the lower time frames, right? So hopefully that helps someone out there, right? We're getting a little overextended, but relative strength way up on the 4 hour MFI, the momentum, right? It's all looking great. Maybe get a little overextended for the next couple of hours, or maybe even day or so, but maybe we just get a move down, like we looked at the daily chart, right? We're looking at something like this, hopefully, right? For the bulls, this is what we want to see: a move, and then just kind of take a breather and move back down, right? Something like that would be ideal, and just come back through and blast through 25K with authority. That's ideally what we want to do. Get back above 25K, hold it, and then flip this level to support. That would be when the bigger bulls will show up. Massive money will start to flow into Bitcoin and crypto if we can flip this 200-week as support. If we get above it, when we come back down and test, we must hold. And then we can just hold that level for weeks or months. That's still very bullish sign. If we get above the 200-week with a closing price, we must hold it. That will be our true key flip point. And in my opinion, I think a lot of massive money that is still sidelined will come in at that point. The 200-week is really the line in the sand for any market to be looking at. So the 200-week EMA, if you want the SMA, right, like we can just put on the SMA. That's in the red here. You see the 200-week SMA, very close, right, 25.4 for the 200-week SMA. And that is sometimes more important. Usually in stock market, a lot of people watch that. But look at what happened on the daily chart, right? For those of you still with me, let's remove those lower ones, right? And let's put on that same MA ribbon, right? Look at where the daily bounced. At the same time, we remember that hammer candle printing outside the lower Bollinger Band that we talked about on the daily chart. Look at that, right? A perfect, almost near perfect tag off of that 200-day EMA, SMA, excuse me. Simple moving average, the 200-day bounce with authority. So a lot of little hidden clues based on what you can look at. So hopefully this helps you. If it did, thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, Telegram, Patreon. Patreon if you want to learn a little bit more about what these markets are doing. More kind of personal help for me. Much more content there. Join our Telegram chat. Happy to help you. And let's get to our quote of the day. My religion is simple. My religion is kindness. If ever the world just thought like that, I mean, damn, how much better would we be, right? Car of the day, let's get to brand of the day. How about going back to my car show that I went to back in the Concours d'Elegance. This is the Aston Martin Vantage R. So new. I'm not sure this has been revealed yet. I'm pretty sure this is not out yet. The R, so they added more aerodynamics. The wing is new, but super excellent taillights, if I must say. And then the diffuser down here, the quad exhaust, looks pretty spectacular. Here's the kind of the side angle. Nice, super nice wheels. Pretty impressive. They do a lot of like kind of first time releases or initial public releases at this show. So happy to see that one. And then also a new release is the Aston Martin DBX, but the 707 version, super rare. The 707 has tweaked horsepower and very limited number of production cars. I believe 707. Riddle me that. But yeah, this is like 300 grand. Don't think I'm going to be getting one anytime soon, but maybe one of the best looking SUVs on the market. I think they built this to compete with like the Lamborghini Urus, the Ferrari Puro Sangue. Most people just right over their head. But all right, I'll just end it there before I, trip down Italian lane. We will stop there, and I'll see you on the next video. Appreciate you watching this long. If you have 57 gold stars to you.